Hello there gang, DD DeVere here, one of a past blast, playing a classic game of yesteryear, and today I'm playing a little bit of Evil Genius. Now, this was released back in 2004, and it was actually developed by Elixir Studios. They went bust in 2005, and Rebellion Software bought the IP rights and the rights to publish the game. So that is why you see Rebellion Software plastered all over this game. They do own it, but they didn't actually develop it. So let's have a quick look at our options. So graphics, you'll perhaps notice I'm stuck at 1024 by 768 VSync off. So if I try and change any of them, it crashes my game and forces me to re-verify my files through Steam. Quality wise, that's what you get. So not a great amount. So with that covered, they've got a few sound options and quality levels. Controls. Now you can redefine your keys here, but by and large this is pretty much a mouse driven game, so you won't be using a lot of key presses anyway, but it's there if you want it, and that's always nice. And finally there's some credits for those who like such things. So what we should do is we shall start a new game. I'll just play easy for the sakes of this. And your first choice is which Super Genii do you wish to play? Maximilian gets cheaper research options later in the game. Alexis, she's perhaps the most useful initially because she gets a larger area of effect around her for loyalty, which we'll see in game. But also her troops, their loyalty drops at a slower rate, which makes her a good choice for your first playthrough. And finally Shen Yu. He has the least loyalty area around him, but he also slightly delays the investigation of agents to your island. So that perhaps not as useful. We'll see why when we get started. So for this I shall just, let's do Alexis. Fna Mrs. So this is us on our way to our secret island, using the word secret in its least possible interpretation because just about everybody in the world seems to know where it is. So, so obviously that is us. We are Alexis. That zone you see around her, that's her loyalty area. Which anyone in it gets their attention stats and their loyalty stats boosted. And this is Eli. He's our henchman. Each Super Genii starts with their own particular henchman, and they're good for, obviously, well, it's a henchman. If you're thinking along the lines of, say, Odd Job from James Bond, you would be thinking along the right lines. And finally we have our basic minions here. So each minions have their own stats as health, loyalty, smarts, attention and endurance, because as they do things their endurance goes down, and if their attention isn't, smarts are low, they can end up being killed in the traps we will set. So they are a basic worker type. We have no direct control over them, but when you set them tasks they go and do it. So this of course here is our super island, which we are going to build our super base into. That's easy enough by right clicking, given a selection of room types. And for the time being I'm going to build a barracks. I'm going to use that as a... Now here you can either re-edit things, cancel the build, start the build, also buy some items, so I'll stick a standard door in. And I shall use that. That looks good for the moment. I'll stick a locker in at the top as well. And a single bunk bed. So when that's ready with that, we can either right click on it there, or there's a little tag item if you just... So as you see what will happen now is our minions will come here to our strong room where all our ill-gotten gains are stashed. We start with 250,000 and they'll run to either the heliport or the seaport here. Heliport's over there. buy whatever needs to be bought. In this case, for mining, they're going to get some dynamite. And we'll place it and mine our base. So let's have a quick look at the interface. Well, here's your, obviously that's your radar. Very useful for quickly scanning and finding things such as enemies. This is our goal screen, telling us what our objectives are. Power, obviously your base uses power. The more things you have, the more power, and eventually you get to build a power room for power generators. Ah, there they are, there. Building away there nicely. We now have a start of a functioning base. These are our stat screens, letting us know how we're doing, what we've spent, etc. All the things you want to keep a track on. That's all dealt with there. Obviously these little icons here, that's how many minions we have. That's if we quickly want to find ourselves or quickly find our henchmen. When you have later on in the game you get a few more, you just right click to scroll through them. And finally our minion training screen. So at the moment, oh, I forgot about that. We can have an extra couple of minions. We only start with the 3. And as you see there, you have social, scientific and military at the top there, with different grades and qualities, which will take different times to train and need different items to train them up. Let's get Alexis here by the base entrance so she can boost the... Here they are, he's got the... that should be the door. Oh no, it's going to be one of the bunk or the locker. So eventually you'll get a research button here. That's not for quite a while in the game to allow you to more research. Finally your alert buttons that are here. Yellow will get your troops to arm themselves once you've got the right equipment, of course. And red alert basically means kill anything that's hostile and not one of our team. Which we shall probably use very shortly because there was some enemies walking around here. Ah, there they are. Once we've completed all this, we'll also get access to our world domination screen. So let's carry on building a little bit of the base. In fact, now tell you what, let's kill those super agents, the agents first. Where's Eli? He should be able to take care of all these. Actually, where is he? Let's get him to use his power and let's collect the... as you see, you get some extra powers for your henchmen. And this one they all have is gather minions, so they will follow us. Let's go take care of our problem. They're up here somewhere. There they are. So these are your basic level investigators. If you click on them, you can see what their stats are. These are very low level, of course. That little blue ring around them, if they, that means they haven't seen anything that's suspicious. It's when it goes red that they become problematic, of course. It means they've seen something that they want to report back to their superiors. And throughout the game you'll get different types of enemies. Of course, these are investigators, and you've got saboteurs, assassins, and eventually soldiers that will end up swarming your island. Alright, buddy. Ah, good. So you take care of them. Of course, with him I can just right click and order a kill. If you right click on them, you get a set of options. So ignore, kill. We could capture, but we don't need that at the moment. And finally, psychological weakening, which we don't have the troops to do that with yet. Whoops, and kill. Are you still on your way here, Eli? Right, we'll get him just to... Ah, here he is, excellent. And they should do all the... They should kill those soldiers for us. There we go. They're taking care of that problem. Right, so what I shall do now is I shall use the magic of video editing. And I shall build up a quick small base here, because you've seen nothing in this game is fast at any time. Even though we've got these in, we should be able to get a few more troops. Oh good, I'm up to 11 at the moment, so we'll increase that. So I mean, oops. So here's a pain trying to, your management here. You'd think this is a basic pool And if you add to here, they will be taken out of here, but you actually have to adjust them manually. If you have too many, you have to sort of come in and adjust the levels. It's quite a bit of a cumbersome system. I have to take sort of, if I went 5 here, and I'll take 5 off there if I want to meet my limit caps. Yeah, it's a very strange way of doing it. You get used to it after a while. But yes, what I shall do now is I shall make this little base up, because otherwise we'll be here for this video will last about an hour. Now, I'm not joking about things not being quick in this game, as you see, just to build this little bit. So I'll do that now, and then I'll come back in a minute via the gift of video editing. Okay, so we're just about ready. So all we've got to do is add a few items to our control room here. A couple of control panels. Maybe a memory bank or 2. And that will give us access to our world domination screen. Obviously this is not a good layout. You would not build something like this in if you was actually playing this properly. This is just for demonstration purposes of the gameplay video. So I've also got over here what I call a lock corridor. You might think it doesn't lead anywhere, and it's not supposed to. So you can set the level of doors, security doors, by right clicking on them. So if I set that to 3, only I can go in there. 2 is any of our minions, and 1 is anyone at all. 4 is just locked for me only, and there's a permanent guard on the door. So a lot of the time when you've got investigators and saboteurs sneaking around, they will see these and get themselves tied up going back and forth along these corridors for quite a while. So the idea being that when they come to your island, they are here for a set amount of time, and if they see nothing, that ring on them stays completely blue. Then their time's up, then they go to the heliport or the seaport and they leave. That's the thinking. So the longer you can time up doing nothing, the better. So these can be useful, but we'll talk about that in a minute once we've had a look at our world domination screen, which should be any second now. There we go. Now have the world domination screen as well as some topside stuff we can build and buy. Into our security room yet? Ah, good. The armoury. Right, so I'll just stick that in here. Brevity's sakes. That should do. So that'll cost us 6,250. Go with that. We'll definitely want a holding cell. I'll right click to rotate items. So right, go with that. So now we can have a look at our world domination screen. So this is where we do all our evil plotting, as well as thieving and stealing. So each area, as you see, is divided up into their respective zones. The blue is Patriot, the green is Sabre, the red is Hammer, the orange is Anvil, and the yellow is Smash. Obviously that's supposed to be like, you know, the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the United Network of Communications for Law Enforcement. They've all got their own little acronyms. So you send some, for example, if I want to send a couple of workers out to here, so let's do that now. I'll send, say, 3. They will on their way. When they get here, as we see, they can do stealing or plotting or finally hiding. So stealing, you can probably guess what that is. Plotting is to find these acts of infamy, such as like this one we have here. So it requires 2 workers, so I'll send 2 extra workers there. And obviously hiding, when after a while you will get agents of justice from each individual organisation. It will come around searching for your minions, and when that happens you put them into hiding. There's not much of a warning that's actually happening, by the way, from the main screen here. It doesn't tell you in your warning window or anything like that in the message alert here. As a general rule, there'll be an auto-save just before they appear. So keep that in mind. If you see an auto-save, get here quickly and put everyone into hiding. You can lose a lot of minions quite quickly. Especially later on when you've got some of your more high-grade minions. It can be quite annoying to lose them because you were paying attention here. So that will be our security room. And down goes the dynamite. There should be a maid walking around somewhere as well. Oh, there she is, look. Yellow dots are neutrals. Red dots, you can probably guess what they were, as we saw when we were checking on the enemy agents we had to kill earlier. In fact, I'm going to move Alexis back in here. I'll put her somewhere like that so her area of effect can boost the stats of lots of minions at a time. So there's a little a quick little pro tip here. This maid, the game proper does not actually start until after you've caught and interrogated her. So there are some out there who, not me clearly, but who could use it as an exploit, that you can send all of your minions out to all the different nations, start thieving, and there will be no reprisals. You can, doesn't matter how much higher the heat up here gets. So as we see now in this area where we're stealing, the heat's gone up. Now it's a bit unclear in the manual what exactly this all ties down to. Your notoriety basically determines how much how much you're going to be investigated by the different super agents and the different forces of justice. What heat actually means is what type they're going to be, whether it's going to be saboteurs, thieves, or up to the army trying to kill off trying to attack your base directly. So right now we've got 2 workers there. We have we don't get much info at the moment, as you see. That tells me we need more computers to crack the area. So if I click go, that one shouldn't take too long. Hopefully they don't get all wiped out, because we don't know what the risk of this one is. So risk is just, it checks how many times, it's basically a dice roll to see if anyone of your minions gets killed during the raid. So sometimes even if a mission has 0 risks, it still does a dice roll, so you can still lose troops on it. Just keep that in mind, and obviously the higher the risk, the more dice rolls it does during the time of it takes to complete the active infamy. And the active infamy is what boosts our notoriety, as well as gets us more staff or specialist items, etc., things to research, all that kind of good gubbins. Stealing, that just gets us cash. So we've got 1600 coming in every 60 seconds at the moment. But yeah, there are some people out there who would use this moment to exploit the game and get a huge starting pool of cash with no reprisals possible. Because we haven't got the computers, I don't know what a time countdown is on that one, how long it's going to take. We've still got both here, so no one's been killed yet. So I'll leave that running in the background. So of course the final thing, the quick wit you might have noticed when I right click on something, once you're in a room, there's this little man trap icon, because of course you can build traps. You need a pressure pad to activate it. And then say I could put a pop-up trap. Yes, thank you. It's throwing me off my stride now. So that will work on lowering the enemy's smarts. I'll take the camera a bit so we can see where the arrows are pointing. Quick go back and have a quick check. How are we doing? Have we done that yet? Nope, still going. But we've still got both agents. So that's good. Both minions. Could have, should have sent more really. We've got plenty of them. So your population of your minions, you start off with 100 cap in total. That's actually lockers. Each new minion needs a locker basically. So if I bought another locker, my minion types here, which I've got a capacity of 21, would become 22. And same as long as your cap is 100, so you can have as many types as you adjust manually up to 100. You don't have to have any workers at all once you get some of these unlocked and trained. So as a quick pro tip, you are going to need a lot of lockers, especially early game. So that's why I build a lot of corridor sections out of barracks, and then I stuff them full of lockers. But you can also, as you see here, you can use the lockers to make path-finding mazes. If you make a huge barracks, which will slow down the enemy agents of justice. So keep that in mind as well. It can make your life a little bit easier. But yeah, early game, you want lockers after lockers. How are we getting on with that? Chaps, have we done it yet? No, it's a bit of a long-winded one. And all these little glowing hot icons are. That one there, what's that one? Forging ahead, that's release of Forger. This one down here, there we go. That's still some secret documents from these two workers. All works on up with our notoriety, because obviously we have to get that to 250, which is our max. But of course, as the game progresses, you'll get more challenges. As I've mentioned already, different agent types, but there's also super agents. Oh, we did it. We lost 1 million.
No one knows who's responsible yet, but everyone's got a theory. Isn't that right, Bill? Yeah. Even the penguins in Alaska got a theory, Larry. Penguins are from the South Pole, Bill. Damn it, Larry. Why do you always show me up on air?
How are we getting on with that? Oh, did I set that door back to... I didn't. No, they won't go. The minions won't go anywhere you've set the door level to 3, obviously. In fact, that's how you need to control your flow of your minions through the base. So that's all the good stuff. You've got lots of intriguing stuff to build. The vibe for the whole... This is definitely inspired by the whole sort of kitsch spy movie type of thing going on. So, you know, think of the Avengers or Man from U.N.C.L.E., that kind of stuff. Sort of mid-era James Bond. It's got that vibe. And they've got it all down really well. Good bits of humour. Unfortunately, there's also the problems. I mean, the first one is the bugs. The amount of bugs, as I've shown you already. I'm stuck on 1024. If I try and change it, then it crashes my game. There are a lot of bugs in this game. Sort of pathfinding issues with the AI. Occasionally they'll get themselves trapped under items. Literally, I'd captured an agent, went to put him in the cage, and somehow they both got trapped under the static cage. Now, there are a couple of fan-made patches out there that address some of these issues. That's something. Well, come on, get out of there. That door to 3 as well, so they don't go further down there. It's easy enough. Click on your trap. So click on the first circle, click on the second circle, and they are now connected. So any enemy agent steps on it, the trap will pop up and start to spook them. All good. So that's 3, so they don't go back in there. But there's the next issue. If you think great, so you can build up especially later on, you get some more really funky traps that you can set them up to have wind traps, blow them into gas traps, and all different things. But if you start killing too much, then you get invaded by super agents and armies. So the game punishes you in a lot of ways. And talking of the enemy AI, there's the other problem. The amount of time it will break is shocking. As I've said, they're supposed to come here for a set amount of time and go again. That's not always true either. And they seem to have a bit of a heat-seeking... Oh, I'm just going to tag that woman for capture. At least now my minions will capture her. They certainly do seem to have a few heat-seeking abilities to know exactly where your main base and paths are and ignore these locked corridors and traps. If you try putting traps in your base, sooner or later you'll end up killing off your minions. So it's a bit of a... It's a lot of really good stuff here. It's a maddeningly addictive game, even if it's not a fast game, and it's really not. You might have noticed the one big omission is a slow time down or speed time up button. That is definitely something that would have been most welcome. If you like speed chess and Counter-Strike, give this game a large berth, because you will get really frustrated with it. Nothing happens fast. Waiting for your heat levels to go down or trying to get agents off your base, especially the enemy super agents who can kill your troops really quickly. Right, so let's order that interrogation chair. So yeah, I mean, I won't lie, this game is absolutely ridiculously addictive at times. Sort of Dungeon Keeper meets James Bond. brilliant atmosphere and presentation. It's excellent interface. This really is a great interface. Can't knock that. But so many missed opportunities. Things like the traps. Because if you kill too many enemy agents, then you're just making things worse for yourself. And yeah, that can be quite frustrating. Right, so we can now right click, so you can release, kill, or interrogate. So interrogate and then right click on whatever you want. Oh, I thought they brought a cherry in. Ah. So this is definitely the thinking man's slow strategic game, but especially when the AI's broke. And you can try it for yourself. You can put a set of bunkers, those right click to build things outside. So now I've got top shacks I can build. You could build yourself 3 or 4 of those. Do nothing with them all game. Then put a piece of treasure in it, and suddenly all those agents that have been virtually ignoring them all game will make an absolute beeline for that one shack where you've got some treasure in it. So there's also a lot of things not particularly well explained. As you notice there, we've got some new blueprints. So hotels, you can build hotels now because at the moment, because it's still early game, there aren't any tourists, but eventually you will get a lot of tourists flying around, and they can end up again with broken AI. I'm not joking, they will panic. Seeing doors will make them panic. So the idea is you're supposed to build hotels to keep them occupied, but you actually have to build 2 hotels. Or they will go into the first hotel, stay for a little bit, and then still come straight to your base. Yeah, but no one explains that. You'll need to build 2 hotels to make them work. So right now, pick interrogation. And right click on the chair, and we will get our first new minion type. So you don't pay directly for minions, but you do have to build a training room and buy the training equipment. I should have bought a few more lockers while I was here. Here's our interrogation. It's also good for your troops' morale if they see a beating. Good for their loyalty. So now, of course, that means we also have now psychological weakening tags. So if I was to tag him for psychological weakening. Oh yeah, you can tag your own troops. So if you notice their loyalty's getting low, capture them, put them in the cells for a bit, then release them. Or interrogate them to inspire the rest of the troops. I'll clear his tag. So now if I look at his stats, he should be slightly... Yeah, they've knocked his attention down. And of course, as you go through different type missions, you need different type valets and scientists and whatnot to complete the different acts of infamy. So now if I had a training room, I could start training up. My minions. So we'll conclude our dealings here, gang. Evil Genius, yeah, it's brilliant UI, brilliant. They've really got the vibe down. It's just the frustrations can also be equally. At times you will end up not joking with packs, absolute packs of enemy agents stuck around here. And you finally manage to get 2 of them to go. This literally happened. You see it, they went to the heliport, 2 Sabre agents. And as soon as they departed, 2 more came straight in and went back over to the front of my base. And repeated the whole thing. So eventually you end up losing your cool, and you just, when you've got the gun racks, hit the red alert and clear them out the hard way. But then you get the army invading. So it's... Oh. Yeah, it's one of these games that was maddeningly addictive on one hand and just maddeningly frustrating on the other because of little issues like that. And I say, on top of the other bugs and glitches you'll get throughout the playthrough of the game. All in all, it's brilliant, evil and genius. Really, I suppose it's a good summation. So anyway, gang, yes, we'll conclude our dealings here. It's still because you can get it for cheap. Yeah, let's be honest, it's $6.99, so it's not going to break the bank. But Rebellion, all right, they didn't make the game, but Rebellion are still a going concern. You know, they've still got plenty of games on Steam that they are developing. Somebody really kill them to come in and doing a proper one last official patch just to smooth some of this out, fix some of the AI issues, do something. Oh, there we go. Talking of that, there we go. We've got a couple of Patriot burglars, and the first thing they've done is come straight here. I'll set that to 3. I could just kill them, and that's more likely to get a more robust response. So ideally, I want them just to go. Where's my valet minion? Here's a good chance to share another issue with the game. Actually, just before we conclude our dealings, if I order a security desk, build a security network, security camera there. No, well, they're going in. Right, let's see. They're going to see all that stuff for sure. Where's Eli? I think you might be needed, lad. Over here. Right, she hasn't spotted anything yet. Where'd the other one go? Somehow hasn't spotted anything. Well, spotted that. Right, put that one up for capture quickly. Oh, he hasn't got her out the base. This isn't going well. Right. Red alert, kill. Oh, it's good to see. Everyone's ignoring the red alert, you see. Look at that. Right, she's on red tag, guys. Kill. This red alert's great, isn't it? Oh, my evil genius is in the way. Get out. So that hasn't helped the starting situation for starters. I won't get to show you what I was going to show you now, but basically once you set up a security camera, it would be really nice. You might as well stand down now. If once an agent comes into that area, it tells you they're there. It doesn't. It's only if you tag them. Now, you might not actually want them tagged. You might just want to keep a tab on them. Because another thing that will happen is when, as you heard, when that door got broken into, you heard it give a warning that a door had been bypassed. Oh, there we go. There's another Smash investigator. See, why Smash? Everything I did was in Patriot's territory. So again, this is something else that's broken in the manual. It will tell you only the areas you're really you're doing in should send investigators. But no, there's a Smash chap now looking around. If it keeps breaking in and out of here, every single time that door gets broken, it will give that warning. I don't care. I really don't care about down here. That's exactly what it's for. It's to distract enemy troops. It's not supposed to be. But if it's a security camera, once that desk's in place, they'll be locked together. And that will send an alert through my base to tell my troops. But there's no direct way of just saying, right, if anyone enters this corridor that's from, like, Smash or Uncle, whoever, not Uncle, they have a film, then alert just to that one thing, just there. If you don't have them tagged, they can still carry on wandering around your base, because your troops will do nothing if you don't tag them. This is perhaps the other biggest problem in this game is the micromanagement. Everything is micromanaging. You need to check here, especially later when the super agents are active, and they go flicking through each country for each area has a super agent, such as John Steele and Mariana Mamba, and they will quickly capture and destroy all your troops, and there's no warning of them. They just keep moving from country to country, so you have to keep coming back, looking at them. Then you'll hear your emergency door has been broken, so you come back here, get busy dealing with that, the sea of enemy agents at your door. The next thing you know, you go back here and all your stuff's been wiped out. So yeah, it's little things like that make this quite frustrating. Oh, I could put that back on to level 2. That's why I'm getting nothing happening here. See there, the burglars made their way straight into my main complex, but they didn't go to my strong room, which is where you think they'd want to burgle things from. So the AI a lot of the time definitely cheats. Oh, let's interrogate you. Actually, tell you what, cancel that. Because I haven't got the freezer yet. And as you see, the body bags, they lower. Body bags, as your troops go through it lowers their loyalty and their attention. It debuffs your troops. So I probably shouldn't have done that without my freezer unit to store the bodies in. Oh well, these things happen. So anyway, we were concluding our dealings. But yeah, it's little things like that. There's no other security network. The entire enemy team could come walking up here, and if you haven't tagged them, there'll be no warning. But you will, every time they break one of these pointless doors, it will tell you about that. So again, it's little things like that that make the game a bit frustrating in some areas. And my security network set up. Basically, once you've tagged them, that is, if it sees them, then it will alert the desk. The desk will make a loudspeaker, and that way it will send the right types of troops to try and distract them or whatever you want done with them. Even the traps are kind of bugged, to be honest with you. So, look. A pathetic patriot investigator. As soon as they go, more will turn up. Oh, there's Sabre. Or is it more? Oh no, sorry, that's more patriot. But at least this time round they are looking at that. This is another area of issue. The traps. High quality agents, because they come in 4 qualities. You have pathetic, which these guys should be. Yeah, pathetic, poor, good, and exceptional. And good and exceptional will often seal your traps before they trigger them. And often they'll destroy them, which sets half your base on fire. So even there, the traps are again, there's so many flaws. But at the same time, so much brilliance. A very frustrating game at times, for sure. But one that has its own charms on top of that. So anyway, gang, this time around I'm definitely going to conclude our dealings. So thanks for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully you found it useful and entertaining in some way. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to let me know you're alive. And we shall see you all next time. Bye for now.